So on my yep, there we go. So on my leave from YouTube, this is something I'd seen I thought was interesting. This is posted by Amor. Originally, Freemasonry is a modern application to the original indigenous occult system. And you can see they're trying to show the similarities between the checkered floor in a Masonic temple with three candlesticks to the checkered, I wouldn't know what you would call it, towel of some sort, rag that this Mayan is supposed to have. It says your Mayan priest, and then the hand signals, you know, uh, what would you call it? The hook'em horns is what they try to cover up and say they would call it. But then it's they say the devil's horns versus this painting here. And if you're skeptical, they also show a better version or image of it there. And I thought it was interesting because you know how I feel that especially the Zulu tribe, and this is like just been putting bits and pieces together. That David Wayne Miller, the judge that was it Mark Christopher Mark spoke to and uses a lot of his research to further his process over in England. He always explained that in one of his videos that David Wayne Miller stated that the reason that the Zulu and the British came to an agreement, excuse me, sorry about that, was because Shaka Zulu was a Freemason. And he never explains how he knows that Shaka Zulu was a Freemason. He, David Wayne Miller says in one of his earlier videos that he's a Mason, so I'm wondering if that's the connection. If he was a Freemason himself, would he have known that way? But he never explains how he knows for a fact that Shaka Zulu was a Freemason. So I look for that kind of stuff when I'm watching movies about Shaka Zulu and the Zulu tribe. You know, do you see signs of masonry when like the black them painting their faces dark or painting their faces white, and then wearing the black hats and things like that. You look at that stuff. But you know how I feel about the Zulu people that I think that they came from here. I think that they were most likely in the western states of New Mexico and West Texas. That when you see the Hopi and them doing their traditional stuff, they got that from them, or they got that from the Dogon, who I think were also over here, and they were placed in Africa. See, I've had this realization, and it's been coming out. People have been coming out proving my point because I haven't been able to. But when I look at like West Africa and you look at maps, it looks like somebody dropped people off there and they left and spread out. And then the similarities are too many between the Hopi of New Mexico and the Dogon in Africa. But getting back to the Freemason part, it was he explains that Masons can't kill other Masons, so they had to go to court to settle their dispute. And Shaka Zulu lost in court because he didn't have any paperwork proving that the land they were on was their land, which made me laugh because you think about it, the Zulu are supposed to have been in Africa from the dawn of time. How come you didn't learn anything from the Egyptians, the Nubians? Those are the only two I could think of. But you never learned anything from them on writing system, anything like that. I don't. It's hard for me to fathom that. But to me, it always says that they weren't from there. And then I was listening to an interview between what's his name? Excuse me, Tajrik Bey and Horace Butler, and they were talking about Horace Butler's book and other stuff. Tajrik Bey said something that was interesting. He said that if you want to find out the history of this land, follow and research the oldest churches, because that's where the history is still going to be preserved. They were either built near important sites, important villages, important towns, so they could sort of look at them and make them the the dark side of their messages, like look at the savages or look at these people, whatever you want to call it. But they're always built next to the indigenous sites, and I always thought it was weird because when I'm trying to find older churches, and this is just early in my research, the only ones that show up are in New Mexico. Why is that? Why are the churches not older, like in, I don't know, the 13 colonies? So, but and they also point out they dress the Zion, the not the Zion, the Mayan and the Zulu. They dress wearing leopard skins, um, and he pointed out they both also dress, the Mayan and the Zulu. They dress almost like they're wearing Greek clothes, which I thought was interesting because of the whole idea of Black Greek. But anyways, yeah, that was something you know, I ran across. I saved it while I was on my timeout from uploading.